Hi, April Jones here. I am the CEO and president and founder of Jones Law Firm PC. We have been serving Colorado families for 22 years. We do family law exclusively. We have served thousands of clients. We're Colorado's premier family law attorney. And I am here today to talk to you about preparing for divorce in Colorado. So preparing for divorce is a very, significant thing, right? So part of what you need to think about is, what is it that you are wanting? What are you wanting out of the process? Are you talking about dividing your house? Is that the biggest issue? Is it your children? Is it your finances? Is it all three issues? Right? Once you can kind of define where you want the process to go and what it is you're looking for, then you can more specifically prepare. So for the purposes of this, our quick time together, we're going to talk about just preparation in general, and then where you are in that space is where you can focus. So let's talk about your children. What is it that you're looking for in terms of parenting time? Is this going to be an easy process? Is this something that you guys don't even disagree on? You'll each have 50-50 parenting. You each think you're a great parent. You're not going to have any issues there. If so, then your preparation for dissolution when it comes to the children's issue will be less complicated than someone who feels like their children are endangered, or they're just not, it's not in the child's best interest to be with the other parent. In that case, you're going to need to be thinking about, why that is, and who are your potential witnesses for saying who that could, who could support you. Or is it the teachers? Is it doctors? Is it therapists? Where are you going to look to when you need some support for the thing you're trying to show the court or show a child and family investigator if you end up needing a professional? So with your children, be thinking about that. With respect to money, if money is an issue, and it almost always is, whether it's a big issue or a little issue, you're still going to need to identify your finances. So your bank statements, your all debt statements, all asset statements, anything in connection with the finances of the marriage, you're each going to need to provide to the other. Taxes, business taxes. We have a long list. We have a long checklist of what you need to do before filing and in preparation of filing. And if you just reach out to us, denverdivorceattorneys.com, we can provide you with our checklist, and that could just really streamline how you walk through this process. But finances will need to be exchanged, whether you have a complete agreement or not. You will need full disclosure on finances in order for the court to issue a decree of divorce in Colorado. Property. Do you have real estate that you're going to need to sell? Are you going to need to have it evaluated and appraised because one party doesn't want to sell it? They're going to need to buy the other party out. Do you have issues with ownership and when you acquire the property? If it was acquired with money that you had prior to marriage, is it in just your name and now therefore there's a separate property component to it? So identify your properties. Identify the documentation of the property, the mortgage statements, if any, the insurance statements, if any, because you will need to provide those things. I always say, well, not always, we've been in business 22 years and we haven't always had Zillow, but in the years that we've had Zillow, I always say, just go on Zillow or Redfin or one of those types of apps and get a sense of the value of your property. Now, it doesn't mean that that's what the appraisal is going to come in at. It certainly doesn't mean that, but it does give you a sense of where you're at in terms of valuing your property, if you have equity, if you don't, if you need to sell it, if you want to keep it, and what position to take in the divorce. Now, with respect to values, you're also going to need to Blue Book value your vehicle. So essentially, assets of significance, we need to identify their values. In some cases, that's not as important in other cases, because let's say you're each going to keep your car and you think they're valued about the same. Maybe you won't get into it too much, but if one person's saying the car is not worth much and the other one's saying, hey, wait a minute, it's worth $30,000 and there's no loan, and so therefore I have $15,000 of equity that you owe me for that vehicle, then it matters. So it really just depends on where you're going to focus the areas of agreement and the areas of disagreement when you are preparing for divorce in Colorado. It's a lot. We can help you. We can walk you through the process. We can take over the process, obviously, and just protect your interests. DenverDivorceAttorneys.com. Send us an email, check us out online, schedule an appointment. We would love to talk to you. Thank you and see you next time.